Right, hello everyone. Welcome to Hilly Stream on Friday nights, which is PRF1, of course. We're at round 7 of the season, and we are at the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, which is a great track and usually provides some great racing, plenty of overtaking opportunities, mainly up the back straight. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to tonight. Should be a great race. Now, as has been the norm just recently on my streams, or at least a couple of my streams a week, I'm going to be bringing a driver in for a quick interview. So I'm just going to invite him now. So we're going to bring Scott in. Now, you may think, who's Scott? I can't remember having Scott. Well, he's Dawdy Kakat was his name. And he's changed it to Scott because I don't know. I don't know why. Dawdy Kakat was clearly a better name. But we're bringing him in now. So, Scott, hello. Sorry, you won't be able to include your audio just yet. Just give me a moment. Right, there you go. You should be able to include it now. Yep, excellent. Lovely. So, well, hello. Welcome to Hilly's pre-quali interview.
Thank you very much.
Just to quickly say good evening to Greza, an operator who's just said evening in the chat. So, yeah. How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm glad it's Friday. Glad I got something to do. Always
Yes.
nice. So, right then, let's get down to the nitty and gritty of it. First of all, let's go with your the track we're at tonight. So, USA tonight, Kota. Austin, Texas. Yeah. Is it a good one for you? Is it one you look forward to normally in a season?
You know what? I like the track. It's just, yeah, I'm not the best at it. I think try not to abuse track limits and actually keep it in a straight line tonight is going to be crucial. So that's what I'm gonna plan on doing that more than anything. There's a lot of places you can spin quite easy, isn't there? So
yeah, definitely.
Sector 3 and sort of sweep him right.
Yeah, I don't. It hasn't been like that in previous season, that right-hander. But this year on this year's game, for some reason, it's a bit iffy, innit? Likes to pull you into the inside. I don't know why it's like that. I don't seem to struggle with it as much as others because I use a lower front wing than rear. But people that use a higher front wing really struggle around there. Quite often have to lift.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Spun it quite a few times in practice, so.
Fair enough. But at least you know what not to do then for the race.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Right, I'm looking at the driver standings. So we're at round 7 of the season. You're 15th in the championship, and having picked up 21 points so far. But you also had your best outing last week as well at Austria. So, how are you classing it for the season so far? Do you think it's going well?
Yeah, so I'm happy. Some of the tracks we've done, like I'm happy to finish more. Anyway, it's hard, isn't it? Because I know I'm obviously one of the bottom in the pile here, and it's just trying to keep up with everyone. Do you know what I mean? But it's more a case of just trying to keep it on track, finish the race, and see where I come. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'll say with Austria now, it was 8th was a bit generous, man. I think it's more the fact that I'll profit on everyone spinning and crashing and DNFing and whatever. So,
well, that may be the case.
You got to finish, didn't you? So
exactly, you got to finish, and you did that, and you've also done that in 5 out of the first 6 races. So, you know, you got to be pretty.
Spain was the only one that got taken out.
Yeah,
like turn 4, I think it was lap 1.
Yeah, so you know,
not a lot to do about
that. Yeah, but it's a good average. So if you're finishing 5 out of 6, you're doing pretty well over a course of a 22 race season. So you know, that's good. And in terms of for the constructors, your teammate is Greza, who's had some great results. We know he may not always be here every week, but he's up there. So you're doing all right in the constructors as well. So
certainly he's carrying me. He's carrying me.
Right, we've only got a minute left, so we best get on with the questions everybody wants me to ask. Let's be honest. So,
that's it, mate.
First of all, we got to do the quick fire. You might just have to be a minute or two late to quality, by the way. But
that's right. That's all right.
Okay, so we're going to do the quick fire questions. I think it's the same set I'm going to do as last week because I can't. There's like quite a few of them. I can't go start, like thinking of new ones of these every week. So, um, and there is a few ones in there, so that's incorporated. But let's go then. So we'll start you off then. So quick fire question number one: what's your favourite colour?
Red.
Favourite food?
Oh, chicken curry.
Oh, nice, mine too. Animal?
Dog.
F1 team?
Red Bull.
Favourite drink?
Controversially.
Don't say Red Bull.
I like.
Ugh.
No, I hate it. I can't stand a fucking drink. If we're going alcoholic cider.
Cider. Oh, good man.
Yeah.
Favourite singer or band?
Do you know what? I'm gonna Eminem. That's what you grew up listening
Eminem.
to, so
Eminem. Right. Okay. Football team?
Man United.
Ugh. Formula One track?
Oh, on the game, Jeddah.
TV show?
Sorry, what was that?
TV show?
Oh, what? Well, I'd probably say Only Fools Horses, probably.
Who's your favourite Doctor Who?
Mate, I pass. I don't watch it, unfortunately.
Favourite F1 driver?
Max, 7.
Oh God. Okay, and
I could need a disappointment already.
but in the last one, your favourite PRF1 admin?
It's gonna have to be my team, mate. Grizzly.
I can let you off. I'm not letting Atkins off from last week for saying it's better. That's just not on. Fair play. That's all the quick fire questions. So well done. Yeah. Mostly okay.
Yeah.
The football team, I must admit, Manchester United. I don't mind that too much. I'm a Newcastle fan, and I'm a Newcastle fan.
Oh,
We don't
God.
really have a massive rivalry with you guys. It's a little one maybe, but
There's been some history between the two teams, isn't there?
definitely. Favourite driver now, Max. That's a terrible choice. That's
I like it, man. I hate Hamilton, so that's half the reason. But
yeah. Well, all right then. I'll let you off. But there we go. That's those then. So the other question, of course, was so it was mentioned in the chat earlier on. So last week, obviously, I asked Atkins if he was a fish, what would he be and why? So I obviously told you to get thinking of a fish in the chat. So your question is if you were a food, what would you be and why?
oh, fucking hell. Jesus Christ, fucking hell. Oh no, probably roast dinner.
What?
Not everyone, most people like it, didn't they? So,
What did you say? I didn't hear.
oh, roast dinner.
Roast dinner. Oh, fair enough. All right, then. A roast dinner, yeah, I'll accept that. I mean, I expect you to say, like, a food, like a potato or, you know.
Oh, right. So I thought you meant as in, like a meal or something like that.
No.
I don't know.
Okay, all right, then. But why a roast dinner, then?
It's pretty standard. Most people like it, do you know what I mean? So,
Most people like
can't
it.
go wrong with it. Most, not all, but can't go wrong with it, can you, sir?
No, fair enough. I've really got to start getting some better answers in this. But it's all right. I know I put you guys on the spot, so I'll let you off. You know,
I was expecting the fish question. I was like, fucking hell.
I know you were. I did that deliberately in the chat earlier on to put you off.
Yeah, you bastard.
No, I was thinking something along the lines. I don't know. Like chocolate fudge cake with custard because it's nice and it looks nice. It's hot, looks nice and creamy, something like that.
That's way too much thought into that, mate. Fucking hell.
That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, you're doing well, mate.
Right, okay. Anyway, mate, thank you ever so much for coming and chatting to me. They're going into quali now, so I'm going to let you go. Good luck tonight. I hope to see you get out of Q1 again, and
Q1 and in the top 10's my aims, but that's,
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
we'll
see.
see if you do that. Good luck in doing that. At the moment, there's 19 on the grid. I don't know why it's not full at the moment, unless there's someone joining late. But yeah, off you go, and get main thing, get yourself for Q1, and keep that going.
I'll try my best.
All right,
All right.
mate. Best of
Cheers,
luck.
mate.
Bye.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Right, there we go, guys. So that was Scott, or as we used to know him, Dodi Kaka. Let's just. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat on the stream. So, hey Taz, Certified Jack. Taz told me to pop by to watch. Hey Jack, thanks for joining. Thanks Taz for getting somebody to come along and watch. It's good to see Taz with us tonight, and yeah, thanks Jack for joining. I'm sure you've joined before, though, haven't you? I recognise your name, Certified Jack. I'm sure I do. And Grezza shouting out Team Merc, of course. And it looks like he's just joined, so I'm guessing he was the late joiner, or perhaps he's coming in to fill in. I don't know. But assuming he takes his car, then we should be up to a full grid. There we go. Car taken and up to a full grid. So always nice to have a full grid. Now, as it happens, I'm going to be doing a hilly hot lap immediately with Awesome Ranger. So this is a new driver that's doing their trial tonight. So we'll do the hilly hot lap immediately with them. There we go, it's invalidated. Oh my goodness, look how bright the sun is. Anyway, over the line, DRS opens to head up to turn 1. Heavy braking, quite late braking for turn 1, but it's a heavy braking corner. And into tight apex. Must get a good exit, but at the same time, you've got to be a bit careful, get that wheel straight as soon as possible. Through turn 2, 3, 4, now 5, you're coming down sort of 5th or 6th gear. Into 6 and 7. Turn 8, very quick corner, usually taken in 5th to be honest. And down to 3rd. Again, for all of this, you've got to be so careful. The traction is low all the way through sector 1 pretty much. So just be a bit careful. We head down to the hairpin as we cross the end of sector 1. And through there, usually around about 3rd gear. And open it up, get the steering wheel straight so you can get on the power as quick as possible. Open up DRS. Most drivers, I think, tend to keep their car nicely over to the right here. It's just you gain a few thousandths, maybe even 100 or 2. And late braking into the left-hander, usually taking in 3rd or 4th, then down to 3rd again. Right, it's a double right-hander this. Very low on traction again, so be careful getting onto the power. This late apex left-hander, again very low on traction. Now this right-hander, it's a long right-hander. It's actually about 3 corners put together, but it's all, you take it as one corner, but it's different beast this season, very easy to spin it, so be careful. Tries to pull you to the inside, blind left-hander at least down to the final corner. Open up the DRS for one last little stint, and Awesome Ranger gets us off and running with a 36.8. So a nice start from him, and he's got one on the board now, and he can look to possibly improve that. Dark Lord 35.8 just behind him. As for a cut-off, I'm going to be honest, guys. It's... well... I think this track is one of the ones that I did longest to go, so I must admit I'm struggling a little bit with what to expect time-wise tonight. I think pole position will probably be in the 33s somewhere, but that's about all I can tell you. In terms of a Q1 cut-off or a Q2 cut-off, I'm going to be struggling, so we'll just have to see where we land pretty much. Evening Shaz, thanks for joining again. And, sorry not to see you on track again. We've just seen Awesome Ranger do a really hot lap on his first appearance. Just looking down to see if we got any other newcomers tonight. And I don't think we have. There's one that was making me think we have RGB Coys, but that's Coys. That's just he must have just changed his gamer tag since last week. Anyway, Shrek's gone into P2 on a 34.44. 34.3 is Cammy's P1 time at the moment. So, oh, do you, Shaz? I must admit, when it first came into the game, Circuit of the Americas, it was not a favourite for me at all. I really hated Sector 1. But, you know, over time, I've gradually gotten better at it and gotten a bit more used to it, and I do enjoy it more now. And as, I think, where's Taz actually disappeared? He must have had a spin there. So, let's move on. White Lion behind him, just coming around the right hand. Oh, he's invalidated. Yeah, it's struggling to find someone on that. What about Davis, maybe? Yeah, Shaz, I definitely enjoy it. And as a commentator, as I say, there's it's normally a fun track. There's usually some really good battles. You sometimes get the odd person trying to two-stop around here as well. It is one of the very few tracks that you can try out with. Need a little bit of luck to pull it off really well, but it can actually work around here if you get it right. So, Frozen's left the session. Let me see if I can get him back. Actually won last Sunday. Pole and race win. I can use sunglasses. Yeah. Indeed, Saz. It is bright. I don't know what else to say to that. It is very bright. Let me see. Let's just invite Frozen. Hopefully you can get back in. Hey, guys. I've got 2 sets of softs left. Oh, what's happened? Perhaps have a go on the same set. You're on 35.8. I don't. Well, the honest truth is, I've got no idea what the cutoff might be. So, might just want to wait a little bit and see if you can ask him out again. It is Taz, but it is on the realistic time, so I am positive that it is worse in quali than it is in the race. By the way, that light, I think it's still there in the race, but I'm sure it's nowhere near as bad. Anyway, White Lion across the line. Okay, Shaz, well... yeah, go Shaz. Might be alright. Shaz cut off 135-ish. To be honest, Shaz, you've been pretty spot on. I think it may be slightly slower. I think we might be more sort of mid-35s, I think. But, we'll see. And then heads on to the long straight. See a little bit of elevation change going on in the straight. It's right out there, one of the biggest straights of the season. Obviously nothing compared to Baku, I guess, but still a very long straight and one of the best overtaking opportunities of the season, to be honest. As Frozen joins back, that's good news. Hopefully he can get out on track this time. Evening, Davis. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining, mate. And White Lion with another invalidation. And yeah, he's just past the pit exit. I think once he invalidated, maybe he wanted to go in, but he's just passed the line. He's just passed it, so he rightly chose not to do anything it may have been construed as being a little bit silly, and on he goes. So, some weird reason, Grezza's in an Aston Martin. As he's saying in the... Hell, Spreader's in a Merc, isn't he? Oh, I don't know what the two admins are up to. They appear to be in the wrong cars. Thanks, Davis. Yeah, you're going to go with me, Shaz. I'm not sure, mate. Say it's a long time since I did this track now. The only track I can think that it's probably longer ago for me than Kota, as I'm talking about as a driver. Well, no, it is as comms as well, really. But yeah, the only track longer ago that I can think of would be Jeddah. To be honest with you. I've had, as a driver, I've had Monaco week this week. 3 times this week, Monaco. Monday, Wednesday, and then Thursdays was supposed to be 100%. But I only made it to lap 12. But fair play. I was the last retirement, lap 12, and I was the final retirement in that race. That was massive shout out to ERC and the drivers who finished that. Fair play to them. I did finish the Monday one. I didn't get past lap 1 on the Wednesday one, unfortunately. I'm not going to find anybody on a hot lap, and I'm going to be cursed here to watch people doing in laps all the time again. What about this man? Just coming around the right-hander that we mentioned a few times now. So, operator across the line, improves by 1.25 seconds and heads up to P12. So that, Shaz, is just about where you said. So 35.5 to 35.7 is what you said. So that might be good enough for Gimba. We'll have to see. Sorry, for operator. Just got our interviewee. I'm gonna give a moment there. Oh, I see, Grezza. So Awesome Ranger took the Merc. So you're in the Aston, okay. So I take it you can just I assume Awesome Ranger Grezza is actually a new driver. He's not just like a random that's joined the lobby. He's just taking the wrong car. Yeah, he's trialist. Okay, excellent. Okay, well, no one done, as you say. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure when the standings are done, the points go to the right teams. But and I'll have to remember it for the race or commentary. But I guess the only other thing is that you're on the wrong teammate for when you're pitting, I suppose. But there is a chance that you and Boshan could be pretty close together on track. So. No, wait. Rosen's gone into P11 on a 35.5. Also on 35.5 is Atkins in P12. Operator then down to 13th now. Fortunately for Coys, he's had to come out again. He's just coming around to start a lap. I think it's that white line ahead of him. Yeah, so the white line has been all the way around, back in and out on an out lap. That's true, Big D. He does drive the Aston in the races against FGR, doesn't he? He must be coming up to another one, surely. So, White Lion looking very nice through sets of one. Nice and clean, tidy. It's down to the hairpin. Very good through there. I always tend to stay away from the curb a little bit. That's what I think can sometimes make you spin round. So I think that's more of a race thing. I think, yeah, in qualifying you probably attack it a bit more, but just like you do there. Yeah, this looks to me like White Lion's doing, just trying to do here just what he needs to do to get through the session now, because it's laid on. Getting a bit of lag here, guys. I do apologise. It's because I've got the Wi-Fi on my phone. Just a second. Right, anyway, 35.3 from White Lion puts him into P9. I think that's going to be safe. The 37.57 of Operators drops into 15th now, so he's now the man in trouble. He's going to drop down a little bit. Sorry, I keep yawning. I don't know why. Can't you sleep? Yes, that's true, Big D. Spriggs, hello. Thanks for joining, mate. Not on track? Well, you're not on track. So Taz across the line now, 35.5. So that pushes Operator into the drop zone, and he will be out, unfortunately. He's still in the pits. So Atkins now the man in trouble as Dark Lord heads through the final corner. And 35.2 puts him up to P10. So that is Atkins into the drop zone. We got on our way round, anybody? Scott, who's on an improvement. That's a bit too much pace in a penultimate corner. He crosses the line, 35.8, won't see him through. It's P18. I think Dark Mark's ahead of us, so here's Dark Mark, 34.9, comfortably through in P7. Oh goodness me, how do I get that down? Goomba on his way round on a big improvement as well, but it's a 36.1, that will keep him P20 on the grid. He's not improved through sector 1, but Taz not improving, almost a second down. Atkins needs to find, well, actually he needs to find next to nothing. He literally only needs 0.03 of a second and he's through comfortably. So I don't know what his sector 2 time was, I missed it. Oh, he's run out wide on the right hander, and I think that would have been a huge amount of time lost. So I think that's it, and we're going to have a Q1 exit from Atkins, which is shocking, to be honest. A real shock. So Atkins out, Taz is out, Operator, Scott and Goomba. Wow, okay. Well done to Frozen, who's just got him through, but also well done to the trialist and debutant Awesome Ranger, who's through to Q2 on his debut. And Coy's well done for getting through, having to go out again. So just double checking. There's definitely nobody still out anywhere. Just waiting for Davis and Dark Lord to be pushed into their garages, and we'll move on. So, yeah, unfortunately, we'll lose Taz, Atkins, Operator, Scott, and Gumba. It's because Scott. I take that one on the chin. That you can always blame the commentator. I've said you've been on a bit of a run of getting through Q1. I mention it, and now you're out in Q1, so you can blame me, mate. It's absolutely fine. Um, anyway, Cammy was quickest in Q1 with that early time in the session for 34.3. Makes me very, very confident that we will be in the 33s for pole position. And yeah, no need to read through all of them. The top 15 are through. Bottom one's out. Let's quickly just double check the incidents. There we have it. So into Q2 we go, and this is probably where we find out a bit more about the pace of the top runners. Quite often they still don't do their ultimate laps in Q2, but it should give us a better idea of the sort of pace they're actually running. Yeah, full quality Spriggs, and yeah, it says that Q1 in 16th, very, very close. Hundredths of a second separating people. Yeah, strong performance from Shrek Spriggs. He's good to see him through. He's had a couple of Q1 exits, hasn't he? Which is definitely not where he should be, in my opinion. I think he's capable of being a lot further up the grid. Hang on, or am I thinking of Dre? I might be thinking of Dre. Forgot about Dre. Yeah, I'm thinking about Dre, aren't I? Sure, it's Dre who's had the Q1 exits. Maybe Taz. I don't know. I doubt it, mate. I think. How often you get on for practice? F1. Well, in my opinion, it's not the sort of game you can play and then leave it for 3 weeks and then go back to it and be just as good. I think you need to play it on at least a semi-regular basis. So, can't be with Kamarov. He's first out in Q2. Shaz saying cut off 35. I think we might actually be a little bit quicker than that. Not much. I think we'll be in the 34s this time. I think 34.7 or 34.7, 34.8, that sort of range. Just thinking, it's top 10, and I'm looking at the drivers here. It could potentially, with the drivers we got out on track, it could be a bit quicker than that. Shad's actually looking at who's there, but we'll wait and see. I'll stick with what I've initially said. I'm not going to change. So 34.7, 34.8. I'm going to go with. Don't want to talk about that. Oh, I've been kicked from the lobby. Don't want to talk about that as well. That's the thing, though, mate. If you're not getting a chance to get on and practice very much, then as I say, it is definitely a game you do need to practice. It's not it's not an RPG or something that you can miss for 3 weeks and then just pick up and go again. Thank you, Atkins. Just communicating with online services a second. Hang on, but I can't believe I just got kicked. Where did that come from? It's been running absolutely fine. And operator. Lots of invitations. Look, I've disconnected, Taz, yeah. Right, it's back in then. So some of these things on. Cammy was out first. I'm not convinced he's still on light lap. He must be on a hot lap by now. Yeah, it's just updated on my screen, so yeah, he is on hot lap. Anybody want to make any predictions of pole position? Should we do pole position or top 3? There's a 34 from Cammy, 34.8, so that's around where I thought the cut-off might be. 35.6 from Coys, but of course these first runs people might be using the tyres they used in Q1, so Boscham 34.7, Big D 35.5. Want to stay with them. All pretty close together, so we're getting very quick lap times coming up here. Frozen 35.0. White Line goes fastest 34.4. And Shrek just behind him, so the two Red Bulls nice and quick so far. 34.5 from him. And oh goodness me, there's loads of times coming in. Davis just around the final corner now. He's a 35.1, so into P7 at the moment. Robbo's also a 35.1, so the two AlphaTauri's nice and tight. 35.5. $33.2 for pole, Shaz. Okay. I was more sort of thinking, yeah, Taz has got it. That's what I meant. Rather than time, I did mean drivers, but there we go. Dre into P3 then. Really is performing so much better this week. Well done to him. 34.5, so that's ahead of what I thought the cutoff might be. It appears Spreader on his first attempt must have had some sort of issue in sector 1, as he's 17 seconds up on this lap. Good shot of the last few corners there. And he heads to line 35.4, goes P9. So we know some of these, what we would call the sort of big guys in the league, are going to have to come out again. Oh, White Line's out. I think he's crashed on the final corner or going into the pits. His car is stuck there where the pit entry is. I think that is pit entry rather than on track. Well, if he has crashed into the wall on pit entry, I'll be honest with you, he wouldn't be the first person I've ever seen do that around here. In fact, I've seen loads of people do it in the past, so it's there wasn't anyone around him for me to be able to see, to go to see, so we'd be relying on Shrek telling us what's happened, to be honest. Boys, there's rain in 10 minutes. Excellent. Thank you, guys, for that information. So, that should be after the end of the session. So, we may have a wet Q3. Or, it might be one of those where if people get out quick enough, they could do a lap on softs, maybe. Interesting. Spreader invalidated what I assume was probably his in-lap in a way. Especially as his fuel is flashing. Now, if you guys saw what I just saw, I am very much confident that White Lion did crash on the pit entry because, well, because there's a tyre there on the pit entry still. So I think White Lion, that's where White Lion's crashed out entering the pits. As I say, he won't be the first person I've seen do it, and he's, I'm sure he won't be the last. Entries just Wolfram Atkins, yeah. So remember that this driver is actually driving a Mercedes, so ignore the pukey green car. Kinda love the fact that the Aston Martin has got a sponsorship from JCB, because that's exactly what it's like driving one of them. It is like a JCB. So 34.0 from Greza goes fastest. So that will see him through. I think... I must admit, Shaz, I'm really struggling here to think. So, Trek on a 34.5. I said 34.7, 34.8, but I'm starting to wonder. And I see the likes of Spreader on a 35.4 and P9, and we know he's going to go quicker than that on his next attempt. I'm just wondering. 13 seconds. Yeah, that sounds about right for me. I don't know why I have such a long delay. I guess it's something to do with upload speed or something. I don't know. Guess until I get that fiber roll band that I've been wanting for a long time. It has to be like the way it is. Sector 1, it's an absolute nightmare in my opinion. Hate it, absolutely hate it. I much prefer, no, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I much prefer Sector 1 of Japan than Koza, personally. Nicely done from Dark Mark as he heads round the hairpin, opens up the DRS on the straight, and we will head down yellow flags for whatever that car was. I think it was an Alpha Tauri, but that's unsure. Might have been a Red Bull. So, I saw the gap for Dark Mark was about 4 tenths then. Now, what I didn't see was whether it was a plus or a minus, so we'll stick with him. He's right on the 34.7. You're sticking to your guns, Shaz, are you? 35.0. Oh, into the pits. Unbelievable. From all that way, it must have been a plus then that I saw. Can we spot a minus somewhere or something close? Let's do a spreader. Picking up a naughty toe. Off. I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Frozen. It looks like a Williams on my screen. Well, it's either a Williams or an Alpha Tauri. It's one or the other. But, what's Spreader going to do? If I remember rightly, he was really quick here last season. Comes through the final corner. I think we're definitely heading to 34s. 33 even. 33.9. So he goes P1, and that is comfortably through now then. As Shrek in the Red Bull is looking to improve as well. He's about a tenth up through sector 2. Okay, so well, I can tell you, Shaz, the cutoff is already at 34.9. So we're definitely not a 35 now. And Shrek improves by a quarter of a second, 34.3. He's bang on it this week. Alpha Tauri boys, both are up. Robbo's quarter of a second is up is through sector 2. Davis is just over a tenth up for sector 1. Go then. Oh, Robbo spun it. Oh, that's so frustrating for him. Go to Davis, who's also about quarter of a second up. And Coyce goes fastest, 33.8 in the McLaren. Sees him comfortably through. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, he's on an outlap, but the man in trouble right now is Sergeant Kamarov. As Davis, in the end, only improves by a tenth. He lost a tenth and a half in the final sector, which would have, well, only just, but oh no, actually no, it wouldn't have seen him into the top 10. Sorry, it gets a bit confusing sometimes when you've got a driver in 10th who's on a faster time than the people above him. So let's go with this man then. As I say, he's the man in trouble. One mistake, could be heading out. No. Coming then. Been very nice through sector 1. That's the main thing through there. So he hasn't turned red. So at the moment, say he's the man in trouble, but he's not out. The 2 Alpha Tauris, both of which made mistakes. Well, in fact, I'm just quickly going to nip to the Tauris, guys, because they're just on their way round to the final corners. Davis was on an improvement through sector 2 and does improve by nearly 3 tenths. He's up to P8. Robbo doesn't improve, but at the moment, Cammy must improve. He's half a second up through sector 2, which would see him up to around about P4-ish. And no mistakes across the line. He did go P4 on a 34.1. So Cammy is through. I'm being an idiot. I didn't actually check to see who was next in line. So it was Dark Mark. So it's Dark Mark who's out. So just to confirm, Coy's fastest in Q2. Spreader just behind, less than a tenth. Greza 3, Cammy 4, Shrek 5, Big D 6, Dre 7, Boshan in 8, Davis in 9, and White Lion 10, but of course crashed into the pit wall, so takes no further part. So it's going to be a top 9 shootout. Great to see. Fair play. I got to give people a shout out when they've done something. I think in Dre into Q3 for the first time for a little while, and in fact to say he's had some Q1 exits recently, so he'd be happy with that. White Lion, Dark Mark, Frozen, Dark Lord, Robbo, and our debutante. Awesome. Are the guys leaving us in Q2. We're heading into Q3, as I say, it's going to be a top 9 shootout rather than a top 10. And the rain is already here. And this could be a case of get out of track as quick as you can. So now let's go to tyres. Yeah, so the game is saying you already need intermediate tyres. But the thing is, it could be a changing track still, so you'd need to get out on track here. You can't hang about. It's possible that the track right now would be the best it's going to be in the whole session, so you'd expect to see all 9 cars heading to the track. The first was an Aston Martin. So I'm not saying for definite that you'll see the quickest times at the start of the session, because it could already be at proper intermediate weather, which means you can have a full session of competitive qualifying, but just have to see. Right, so Shaz, you're sticking 33.2 on pole. Well, you're wrong. Sorry, that made me giggle. Then I just started, yeah, my predictions. I highlighted, you did highlight that message. Well done, Taz. Thank you for highlighting the message, Taz. Well, Taz off to bed. As long as you listen to me in bed. Where are your predictions? I saw them a minute ago. Oh, this is a bold prediction. Is that what you highlighted it? Koi's P1, Spreader P2, Grezza P3. Excellent. Well, I think that was the top 3 in the last session, wasn't it? We'll see what difference will the rain make in terms of pace of this field, because it's going to make a difference. Grezza just seems to have a little bit of a rocky moment across the line there. Just may have just lost him a bit of straight line speed heading up to turn 1. These first one or two laps on wet tyres, whether it's intermediate or full wets, it's always a bit of a... You can't really go flat out. You need to drive a few laps, in my opinion, before you can really... You need to find out where the grip is, where you need to be a bit careful, etc, etc. Just like you see in real life, just like they got to do in real life. It's, so you tend to find that it's a bit later in the session when people are actually confident to know where they can really push. I would expect so, Spriggs. Sounds like a plan, Taz. Spriggs. Yeah, I think... When was the first time I commentated for PRF1? Sorry, Spriggs, yeah, first of all, Spriggs, I do think you'll see people doing multiple laps here. It's not going to be one where you see that many laps, so it's quite a long lap around here, so they haven't got time to do loads. But you might see 2 or 3, maybe 4 laps before they then come in for a new set to then go out and really push. So Grezza 45.1, so you can see we're losing 44.4 from Koi's. Yeah, we're losing well over 10 seconds because of the weather. Bosham 44. Oh my god, how close are they all? Slow down, lads. Dre into P3, Grezza P4 now, Big D P5, but Koi's is fastest at the moment. Yeah, when was the first time I commentated for PRF1? Well, so I'm in my... got me thinking now. I'm trying to remember, is this my second season commentating or my third? I don't know, because I drove first, Taz. I was driver first in PRF1 when I first joined. And because Grezza was doing the commentary when I first joined, and he couldn't make it every week, and yeah, when I first joined PRF1, I hadn't commentated ever at all, so I think that was 3 seasons ago, and then I got a feeling it was towards the end of that season that I did my first commentary for PRF1. It wasn't my first ever. I started commentating in ARC by then. I think it was the end of that season I did my first for PRF1, and said to Grezza that I'll take this over. I think that's right, anyway. And then I think I did the whole of last season. Grezza could tell you if I'm talking crap. Coys goes faster again. 44.397. Extremely close. But this is what you normally expect. You generally see people going faster and faster as they do more laps. So I just don't know about the weather, because it does look wetter to me at this point than it did when they first come out of track. But let's see. This is Cammy coming round to finish another lap. No improvement from him here, so maybe that was more energy regeneration lap. Probably gonna give it a go. Oh! Switch to that just in time. That's Boshan, was around. That is in sector 1, and he slammed the wall. It's not what you'd usually expect in sector 1, but I guess when it's in this weather it's all possible. But that wheel is definitely not going to go anywhere anymore, so that is one of the Astons. As it stands currently, he's P3. I doubt very much he'll still be there come the end of the session unless the weather is getting worse, because as I say, it looks to me like it's worse than what it was. I'm not saying that they should be on full wets now, I don't think it's that bad, but it's, I don't know, it just looks wetter. How is your team? Well, maybe you need to do some chatting in the McLaren garage and see if you can help at all. No, he's not going to be able to help to gain you like a second in time test, but you might be. There may be little tips you can give in the sense of setups and stuff like that. So, just around the final corner now. We've got on. No, we're not going to improve, I don't think. No. So 1.3 down. So I expect Grezza's going on another one. Well, everybody's into the pits apart from Spreader, and I don't think Spreader's going to get ground, is he? It's a pit, so I can only assume that Spreader's not intended on pitting. I think he's staying out. So he may actually do 2 energy cooldown laps to recharge the battery before going for one big lap. I keep missing this at one time. They've changed where the end of the first sector is. I thought something was a bit strange. I swear that the end of the first sector used to be on the straight before the hairpin. It did, and the sector 2's... Oh, well, it doesn't matter anyway. It don't matter, I'm sure it used to be on the straight and just before the hairpin. I keep missing it. Anyway, Spreader, no improvement. As I think he's going to cool down, but we've got nobody else on a hot lap in a way, so stick with it. On the other hand, Taz, if you look at it this way, at least there's no real chance of you meeting each other in the pits. So, Spreader's in. Well, I'm surprised at that. For me, he hasn't got enough time. Having said that, I wonder if this track has gotten too wet, because I can't believe that Spreader's just given up. And he won't have made a mistake thinking he could get back out. He's too experienced to make a mistake like that. So that might be an indication to us guys that the track is too wet. Coys retires out as well. Amazingly, Davis hasn't got invalidation for that, but he's 8 temps down in sector 1, and I think that tells us everything, doesn't it? So let's see the next driver. Who's set to 1. It's an invalidation. That's the end of Grez's qualifying. Oh, you won't be spinning, Taz. So, yeah, truth be told, guys, in my opinion, I think it's too wet. It's just too wet. I don't think anybody else can improve, so... Yeah. See, Big D looked to me then like he was taking set to 1 really, really well, and he's still 4 attempts down, so... Yeah, in my opinion, it's just too wet. So, I think we're going to be saying congratulations, Coys here. Pole position. Yeah, second down pretty much for Big D. And as I said, it's looked like a decent lap. So, shows there's just no pace at all left in this track. Grez is into the pits. Well, Stray is coming to the pits as well. Yeah, I think, guys, that's definitely it. We've got Kamarov behind us. He's 5 seconds down and invalidated in a way. So, Big D is at least going to cross the line. Be doing the final sector. Almost spun. Do a donut for us. Is he going to do a donut? Or is he just going to reverse across the line? Reverse across the line. Fair enough. So, there we have it then. So, congratulations to Coys. Cammy's doing a donut for us. 2 donuts. Thank you, Cammy. We always like a donut for the stream. Awesome job. So it's Coys P1. Well done, Coys. Grand job. There, you've looked like getting it through the sessions, really. Fair play. Cammy in P2. Bocham P3. So we're not quite there with our predictions, guys. Well, I understand the rain may have changed things slightly. But, well, Taz, you've done well with your pole position. Not bad for a reserve driver. Goodness me, of all the things to say. You may be a reserve driver, but you're clearly a very good driver. And your teammate for the evening, Coy, showed perfect faith in you. And he predicted your pole position. And yeah, so anyway, yeah, Kois, Kamarov, Boshan, Spreader in 4th, Dr. Dre in P5, and then I just missed the rest. I think Greza was 6th, Big D 7th. But Dre, that's a massive qualifying for Dre after, as I say, what's been a little spell of going out in Q1. He's got to be over the moon with that, and let's hope the race goes the same way for him as well. So he's got to be over the moon there. Anyway, guys, as always, we will be taking a break. So I've not seen the time be said yet in Discord, but it's usually 5 minutes, so I think we'll be looking around 34, 35. Oh, someone's hit the button, for goodness sake. That will almost certainly mean a restart, guys. Yeah, people starting to leave. Although nothing's actually been said, I don't think. Oh no, it's because my Discord isn't connecting. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Lobby restart. I haven't got a grid order, mate. Yeah, Spreader asked me for the grid order, but I don't have it because um, the streamer can't actually screenshot or anything. We can't clip or screenshot when you're streaming, so I'm literally like the only person that can't have it unless I screenshot on my phone or something. It's anyway. Let's do the main thing and get back into the lobby. Right, okay, guys. Say that we've got to do a restart anyway, so we've got to just Spreader's gonna have to do the grid and everything. So we'd be taking a break anyway. So just bear with me, and I'm gonna grab myself a coffee and that, and I'll be back shortly. See you in a moment. Right, guys, back with you. Coys, if you're listening, you need to pick your car, I believe. Yeah, I have. There you go. Excellent. Right, any drivers that are listening, one, don't ready up. The admin will do that when it's time. Two, don't forget your setups, don't forget your strategies, don't forget your fuel. Anything else? Don't forget your brains. Don't forget to check your mirrors. Taz says, I don't ready up early. Good boy, Taz. Oh, dear. On the other hand, it does mean there is one plus side to this, actually, guys, in the sense I know it's annoying and all that, but there is one plus side. It does mean that Awesome Ranger is in the right car, and therefore, by extension, so is Greza. So Greza's now in the Mercedes, Awesome Ranger's now in the Aston Martin, which is the way round it was supposed to be. So there is a little silver line into that. Always got to look on the bright side, don't you? Got a strategy and setup, so I think I'm fine. Excellent. I'm not a dog, I'm not a good boy. Good boy, good boy. John Treat, John Treat. I bet you take a treat though, Taz, wouldn't you? I bet you would. Right. Anything to say? We've got 28 laps of Kota. You may have heard me mention earlier on that it's one of the very, very few tracks where you can potentially do a two-stop. I'd like a treat. There you go. I knew you'd want a treat. Well, you said you're not a dog. You said you're not a dog and you're not a good boy. Well, only good boys or dogs get treats, so you're not allowed one, I'm afraid. What was I saying? Look, you made me forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's one of the very few tracks of the season where we may see a legitimate two stop. Um, by legitimate, I mean one that's not caused by a safety car, basically. So, an actual planned two stop. We'll have to see. I do think there is a genuine chance that someone might give that a go. But woof, no, 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 I'm a dog seat. Ah, you were. Well, okay, yeah. Here we go. Thanks for joining. Well, there you go, Taz. I've just given you a treat in the Discord. Well, as always, having fun. I'll be back. I just need to get this. What does that mean? On a train on the way home from London. Brought your AirPods. That's good. Well, you could unplug the AirPods and let everybody on the train listen to me well. No worries, Taz. Right. Please don't ready up. Nobody ready up. Let let Spreader do it, otherwise his head will explode. Do you mean nobody wants to hear this? I'll have you know that currently 10 people want to hear it. Although actually if I do that, then it says 8 people, although my phone says 10. There's a discrepancy. Let's go in the middle and assume it's 9. I usually lose a few just at the start of the race because the drivers... Some of the drivers leave for racing. Keep me to me yourself. Thank you, Al. Oh, do it, do it, do it. No, don't do it. Don't listen to Al. Don't be like Well, be like Hilly. Be a good boy. So, a message has gone out to say that we will be going at 9:44. So, that's the time. Ah, thanks, Shaz. See, well, some people are committed. Shaz is very quickly becoming my #1 fan. Well, no, Shaz is Grezza's fan, not mine, but becoming my #1 viewer. Wow, what a weekend you've had. Taz, give the dog a treat. He deserves it for putting up with you. You are, well, you are. You're not watching me. You don't watch me. You listen to me. But we're not that pedantic. We don't really care about that, do we? Oh dear. Have to watch. Anything else to say about Kota? Kota. It's a track in America, Texas, Austin, Texas. One of 2 tracks currently on the calendar from the United States of America. The other, of course, being Miami. But into 2023, there will be a third because there will be New York as well. Anything else to say? That looks like the most incredibly boring track in the world. If anybody's seen the layout of it, by the way. Not New York. Did I just say New York? I meant Las Vegas. I bet so. I bet somebody said, "Oh, not New York." Do I know what COTA stands for? That's always a good fact. Well, I've said it about 6 times probably since I started, which just shows that you haven't been here the whole time. So it's Circuit of the Americas. Dove Nightmare has left the session. Well, that's good. So I don't know who you are. Yeah, wait till the stream catches up. Well, you're on a moron now. Right, 43 it is. We're getting close. We're getting close. PRF1-Round 7. Ow, 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 ow. Burning my fingers on my coffee. Well, hilarious. Can't wait. Yeah, racing every one of the 50 states. They'll probably have more states by then. They'll be due another 1 or 2 before then. You're right. It's heading towards that way. They seem to want to Americanize it somewhat, don't they? Which is a terrible idea. So the countdown is on. That was something I could have done while we were sat here doing nothing. Right, so they're away for the formation lap. I can find my way around the Discord. I'm going to know the standings currently just quickly. So, yeah, so it's Kamarov leading the way at the moment on 175. Spreader is in second, 48 points behind. Greza in third on 107. Spriggs is in fourth but isn't with us tonight. Or at least not racing. Atkins in fifth, Davis sixth, Dark Mark seventh, Big D eighth. And just quickly, the Constructors is currently being led by Haas on 190, Alpine and P2 on 164, Red Bull 106, McLaren on a square 100, AlphaTauri and Aston Martin level on 97, and Alfa Romeo just 1 point behind them. Williams just 2 points behind Alfa Romeo. That's actually from third place. The battle for third place is literally an 8-team battle. Because third place Red Bull on 106 and 10th place is Mercedes on 83. So, extremely close, particularly with the point system in use. So anyway, let's get back to the actual race. No, Shaz, please never say that. Don't tempt it. Oh, you gave his dog Zeus. You're Greek and you called your dog Zeus. That's just incredible. I love you forever, Taz. That's amazing. Right, so anyway, quickly before they start, tyres. Coys is going to start off on the hards, as well as Bosjan. Kamarov, Spreader and Dre have all gone for medium tyres. Spreader and Dre don't hit their grid slots properly. Greza starting on the hards. Big D Davis on mediums. Shrek on hards. White Lion on mediums. So the Red Bulls there splitting the tyres to split the strategies. Other than that, everybody on the mediums except for Robbo, Scott and Goomba who have opted for the hard tyres. So let's... didn't seem like that bad a view actually. As the lights go out and they react, Ferrari moves to the side, gets a decent start. As what is going on? So I'm really struggling to see. Let's go to an onboard view so we can see properly. So it looks like Spreader's got his usual start off the line and leads the race from, well, it was from Coys, but Camaro's just gone through. That was rather trusting of your opponent there from Cami. But both of them starting on the medium tyre, so they've taken advantage of that and have managed to get through Coys, or past Coys, early doors. Big D is up to fourth. He was the fast starting Ferrari that we saw. Bosjan down to P5, but of course has started on the hards as well, so probably to be expected. Dre P6, Davis 7, Dark Mark 8, Grezis drops to 9th. Again, started on the hards though. Really glad to say that everybody has gotten through, well, not just turn 1, but sector 1 absolutely perfectly. Changes. Yeah, as you can see there, the biggest loss of position was 4 places by Frozen. So when your biggest loss of position coming up to the end of lap 1 is only 4 places, you know you've had a good start to the race. Exceptional. Biggest gainer, by the way, is also up 4 places, and that is Atkins in the Alfa Romeo, who's up to 13th, having started 17th. Davis gets past Dre. That's, by the looks of it, was into turn 1. At the moment, I could put the camera on anyone in hope of an overtake because they're all so close together. Really not sure where it will come from next. Right now, this was the smallest gap. Oh, White Lion's left the session. No. fighting back. So hopefully he can get back in really quick. With him so close like this, he could drop so many positions if he's not fast getting back in. So he won't stick watching an AI. This is actually, as she goes through Shrek, he's also... Sorry, as he went through White Lion, he's also got a Shrek. I thought was going to have a little look on the outside, but in the end didn't. Perhaps pulled away from that idea. Because of his teammate. So, catching up on the chat. Oh, Spriggs, I'm sorry, mate. Just seen your message. Sorry to hear that. I know that's terrible. I lost mine very recently, just before Christmas I lost mine, so I know it's not very nice, buddy. Condolences to you. So, yeah, Big D did have a good start. Up to 4th, up 3 places. He was the Ferrari that I mentioned had come out to the side because they launched well. So let's just move that gap up the front. It's just gone to over a second. I did mention that I seem to remember from last season that Spreader was quick around there. I can't. It's not. You know, I'm not going to pretend that I can remember individual races, and usually my memory can't remember what I had for dinner the previous night, so I'm not going to try and remember it. I can try and pretend I can remember that. But Big D, in a way, puts one up the inside of Coy's. Of course, at this point, the medium drivers will have a pretty good advantage over the hards. When they do the switch over later on, the guys that go to the mediums will have a really substantial advantage. They're going to be quick later in the race. Now, I don't think, as Boshan is first to pick up a penalty, White Lion is joined. He's going to find himself in 15th at the moment. Remarkably still in a close battle as well, so it's not easy to rejoin the game when you're close like that. So just be careful, White Lion. As Coys is coming back at Big D, it's going to give me a horrendous view. And that's up the inside from Coys. Nice move. So a nice move initially from Big D to get Coys. But Coys gets him back on the pit straight. Very nice racing from the two. Let's just head down a second. I know that battle's still going on, but as you can see here, goodness me, it's so close at the moment. As Awesome Range has become the second driver to pick up a penalty, so fortunately it's the two Aston Martins who are both first to pick up penalties. Now, I am sure there will be plenty of penalties throughout the grid by the end of this race. It's an extremely easy track to invalidate a lap on. Skip a corner or two. So Big D again gets the move done back on Coys. Same as last time, same place. There's a little bit of position changing going on further down there. So Taz in 13th, Awesome Ranger 14th. So to say, it's just a bit difficult to know where to go. I don't want to leave this a missing overtake again. So set to 3 yellow. I think that's the first time someone's had a moment, and it's in that right-hander as well, and it's frozen, unfortunately, and drops to the back. It's on that blooming right-hander that we mentioned about, and I don't think he'll be the only spinner around there. So this time Coy's not able to get back past on the pit straight, but still very close. So see, they're on slightly different lines through sets of 1. Big D seems to really be moving his car around a lot more than Coys does through the sector. Interesting to see the different driving styles on that and the different lines that people take. On to back straight then. Now, does Coys have the straight line speed to get him back again? It does. I've got to be honest, it looks a bit big, this gap, to me. I can't imagine. Doesn't really make much of an impact there at all. So, but not to forget, Coys started pole and he started on the hard tyre. His time's going to come later in the race. Coys is very much in this race still, so don't count him out. And behind that battle, we've got this one, which is, if it goes to that view, we've got 4 cars in a row. Forget that, it's more than 4 cars, it's 6 cars. Davis in P5, Dark Lord in P10, so they're all within the second of the car ahead. Oh, Spriggs, it's unbelievable, isn't it? How Spread always gets a good start. I don't know how he does it, but he does. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Shaz. If Coy's here can hold on to DRS lap after lap, just go back to the tyres just to remind ourselves. But yeah, as you can see, he's running P4 on hards. Now, just know the advantage that he'll have being on the mediums later is much better than the advantage the guys using in the first stint will have. So now in terms of pit stops, I think you're looking at around about 12 laps on mediums to 16 on hards, or a very close sort of variation of that. Sorry, I need to go down. We've got a close battle here between Scott and the trialist in Awesome Ranger. We're just lagging about on screen a little bit here, as there's a bit of contact and Awesome Ranger's kind of spun. It's a half spin pretty much, but I think that was a bit of contact. But there was a lot of, I don't know if that was as bad for the drivers as it was for me, but there was an awful lot of lagging going on my screen there. Really difficult to see what was going on properly, as Atkins is in for an early stop. He was on the mediums, so potentially he can still pit to hards. Yeah, as you can see, it's for a new wing, which you would expect. You wouldn't expect him to be pitting now if it was just a standard pit stop. So anyway, let's go back to Coys and Big D, because they are still going at it. As Frozen is out and it's on track. I think this could be a safety car. It is. Well, that's music to Atkins' ears. That is music to Atkins' ears. My goodness me. But what does he do? Well, let's be honest, guys. Surely all the medium tyre runners are going to come in. This probably couldn't really be better time for them. It's too early for hard starters to go to mediums. They won't make it. So, for me, this couldn't be better timed. It's an absolute nightmare for anybody who started hards. All they can really do is change their strategy to go to a... Well, they make a choice, basically. You either take track position by staying out, or you change your strategy and go mediums. Well, probably medium, or maybe medium soft. Well, let's see what Coys does, because he's in. I guess you would put a set of mediums on, wouldn't you? And just see where you can get to. Just go and just see how far you can go. And if it gets to a point you have to pit, then you have to pit. But I don't know what else he can do, if I'm quite honest with you. But there are several drivers staying out. I cannot believe that Dark Mark stayed out on medium tyres. Greza, Shrek, Spreader... Sorry, no, Greza and Shrek have stayed out. And I can understand that. That's gets them track position, so I can understand. They've gained a lot of places by doing that. As is Dark Mark, but as I said, he's on mediums, so he's only like four or five laps off of a pit stop in a way. So I believe he's done that, quite frankly. Dre has gone to the softs, and so has Operator. So they have decided basically that they can't get to the end on a set of mediums, so they're gonna go softs first, and I guess hope to get some sort of undercut result. But yeah, in terms of timing of this safety car, it couldn't be worse, if I'm honest with you, for most of the field. Or not most of the field, but a decent amount of it. Yeah, I'm with you, Spriggs. I think so. "20 laps on mediums around here is not ideal. As I said, this is one of the few tracks of the season where a two-stop strategy is almost as quick as a one-stop. It is a bit slower, but it's one of the ones where it's closer and an actual viable option. So that tells. I mean, if mediums did 20 laps, then that would never be the case. So yeah, mediums to the end, the mediums will be dying, and they'll be absolutely hemorrhaging places. On the other hand, maybe someone like Coy's, has got the pace that even with the dying tyres, he could still hold on to a really good result. So Dark Mark, after staying out the first lap, he has pitted the second lap. Obviously, that is going to hurt him. It will put him right to the back. Unless somebody else comes into the pits, but it doesn't look like they are. But yeah, that's what I meant, guys, by the safety car being the perfect time for the medium starters, because the hard start, 3 or 4 laps later, I think the hard guys could have got away with switching to mediums. They might have had a couple of slow laps at the end, but it wouldn't have been too bad. But with when this has happened, they're going to have 5 or 6 laps, I would imagine, of being really slow at the end of this race, which on a 50% race is a large number of laps. It's 20% of the race, so it's the risk you take, isn't it, I guess, by starting on hards. I think there's always... I don't think it really matters, apart from Monaco, of course, where you don't see safety cars. I think all the tracks have a reasonably high percentage of a safety car happening in the first 10 laps, I would say. But I do get it. I mean, there is no doubt that if you start on the hards and you do have a safety car free race, it is the faster strategy. But it hasn't worked today, unfortunately. It's a shame. It'd have been nice to see where Coy's could have finished. But I'd have liked to. What I mean is, I would have liked to have seen Coy's attacking the front 3 or 4 later on in the race. And seeing if he could have got back. He's in all that as well. He's picked up a penalty. I hadn't noticed that previously. And there's position changes going on as we're getting ready to race again, but I'm not sure why position changes are happening through the field. Right, anyway, away we go. Greza goes. So remember, Greza and Shrek in P1 and P2 are on worn hard tyres. They're, well, you know, I mean, they're not horrendously worn or anything. They'll have somewhere, but they're only basically halfway through a stint on them. So White Lion gets a place back on Scott, and so does Taz. Let's just check that. Taz and Scott still fighting. And oh, there's contact there. That's Scott and Boschian. Well, oh, think that's Bosch. Yeah, Bosch. I think Boschan's retired on track. That's not good. But gotta get looked at, I would imagine. There'll be some frustration in that, and no doubt that'll be going to the stewards. But we will see what happens from that. But I won't say too much about it because it's almost certainly going to get put into the stewards, that one. So I'm not going to say too much about that one. So Big D is one of the guys that have potentially gained from the safety car by being able to switch to hards. That's a move going on behind there. Dre has gotten past Davis. I believe it's that way round. Yep. Dre on the softs, so we know he's going to be quick for... They won't. I don't think you can do more than about 7 laps, but they'll probably only be quick for about 4 of them, so... As Kamarov has gotten past Shrek into P2, so he's going to get off after Greza. There's nothing Kamarov would like more than to be quick getting past Greza, and just going to have to move up to this. Spreader's gotten past Shrek as well. Yeah, it's just, what I was saying is there's nothing... Kamarov would love to get past Greza really quick here. Because if Greza does hold Spreader up at all, quite frankly, it could actually end up handing the win to Kamarov. But actually, I think Spreader's got a look. I think he has got a decent toe there, Spreader, but it's going to run out of tarmac, unfortunately. So obviously no DRS this lap, so these are the sorts of positions. Greza's tyres will not be working as well through sectors 1 and 3 as the guys lose their fresh. You would imagine that once DRS activates, Greza will be on borrowed time. He's on borrowed time anyway, of course, because at some point he will have to pit. The only thing really, the guys that stayed on the hard tyres that they started the race on, the only thing they're really hoping for is that another safety car comes out and everybody pits again. That way they've gained track position on everyone. But, as you can see from Shrek, he is dropping down. Robbo's just lost 2 places. Sorry, let's go down actually. Well, Robbo lost 2 places, then he was just in front of his teammate, so Robbo's let his teammate through. Oh, Greza's disconnected. Oh, dearie me. Greza's disconnected. Incredibly, his AI is managing to stay ahead down the straight. We need to see his name come up pretty quickly. It's through the corners that the AI tends to be slower, hence Kamarov is through. Coys is through and gets ahead of Spreader. Shrek goes past Greza. As Greza joins now, he's dropped to 5th. He'll know that it will happen quick. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be hard enough for him to hold on to it, but his AI have no chance. It's good that he's got back in because there's every chance his AI... No, he hasn't got control of the car, but I was going to say his AI may have pitted him, but it's lucky one hasn't. And battle for the lead. Kois on the inside of Kamarov is up into P1. Now, Kois has a penalty, but we also know he will really struggle to get to the end on the medium tyres. So I'm sure Kamarov's not going to be panicking too much about that. If he can hold on to the 1 second of Kois, that's the only thing for Kamarov now. He needs to hold on to the 1 second, because if he doesn't, he becomes vulnerable to Spreader. And for the likes of Dre that went to soft tyres. I'm afraid the bad news is they're going to be dying already. They don't last long. I may well be lagging a bit, Shaz. My internet's not the best, pal, so I do. I do struggle sometimes, I'm afraid. I can't wait until I can get a better internet, but it's just not. Well, it's quite literally not possible yet, because even though it's although the fibre has been installed where I live now, it's not actually live yet. So. You think? Oh, okay, I see. So you think he might have hit the wall and lost his wheel? Okay. Oh, Dre. I mean, at the moment, Dre seems to be getting a soft still to work, although Davis is having a go. I'm really not sure. I wouldn't really be. This might just be me, but I don't think I'd really be looking to drive alongside another car through sets of one, if I'm honest. It's on the gaps. Kamarov up to leaders again because just a moment there, Kamarov. Well, they were going down the back straight, so I guess he got a tow and DRS off Coys. That's well, he got to within half a second. But once again, there's plenty of battles going on. It's just knowing which one to watch. As Kamarov, for the first time, dropped out of the 1 second there, but he'd already gone past the activation point for DRS, so he did still have DRS, and it's gained him 4 attempts up the pit straight. He knows Kamarov that's important. Head down as White Lion heads up the inside of Davis into turn 1 and takes P8. I can throw a dart at this leaderboard right now and get a better chance of actually seeing an overtake. But say these softs should be starting to really die on people, and I think Greza's on 14 lap old hards and he's just gotten Dre to over a second behind, so I think the softs are gone. So I'm expecting to see Dre in this lap, and I expect to see Operator in this lap. Dark Mark may do one more lap. We'll have to see. So White Lion gets ahead of Dre. As I say, his tyres are gone. They are absolutely shot. As we get a yellow flag further down. Don't know who it was, unfortunately. But there we have it. All stretched round. So he's one of the hard starters that stayed out. And well, I'm amazed that Dre has gone over the line. He's carrying on. His tyres are shot. I can't believe he's carrying on. The hard tyres of White Lion have pulled out a second on him in about 4 corners, I think. 4 or 5 corners. Operator's in. I believe he's done the right thing. And going by how slow those softs were, maybe Dark Mark should have pitted as well. Because at some point during this lap, you've got to think they're going to go on him. Look at the gap that Dre. Look how much time he's losing. Now, you've got to assume that Coys will pit for softs at some point later in the race. But obviously, at the moment, I think it was more sensible from his point of view to go to mediums. Obviously, it gives him the option of seeing whether he thinks he can push them out to the end. I do expect that to be no, and pit for softs, but obviously all this is going to create a gap. It's a pretty quick pit stop around here, so I think it's about 19 seconds off the top of my head, so it is a quick one around here. Anyway, it's enough of watching Dre struggling on the softs. White Lion is already onto the back of Greza, and Greza's in. I was about to say, surely those hards are on the end of their stint now. Greza in. Unfortunately, whichever way they went about it when the safety car came out, it was just a nightmare for the hard starters. Whether they stayed out or came in, it didn't seem to have made too much of a difference, quite honestly. Yeah, it is a good watch, Shaz. Very enjoying it, even if I do keep missing all the overtakes. And just little signs happening. Actually, if I go to Cami, he's only just over half a second down at the start of the straight. Look how much time he's gaining down the straight, and I think that is an indication, guys, that the hards are starting to work. And you've got to think, if Coys has lost the tyre advantage already, and I think he has, you know, I do think the hards are working better already than the mediums. So you've got to think that if he has lost the tyre advantage already, and he's not even halfway to the end of the race from when the safety car occurred, and that's an incident, I'm sure it is. No, this is where the yellow flag was. I can't see anything obvious. Oh, shit. Oh, and that's a spin, and I think, was that... What did you guys see there? Was there contact? I was just about to say, you've got to give Taz a bit of a shout out here. He's up to P6. Davis battling him now. So it's oh, Taz has spun it on his own. Taz has just spun it, and Davis and Atkins are through, which has brought Awesome Ranger up to P8. Shrek 9. And Taz, I think, is back going. He may have to be a little bit careful on the tyres, although it should cool them down pretty well going down the straight. So, anyway, let's get back to Davis and Atkins, because Atkins is very close. Yeah. Shrek's still out there on the hards he started on as well. Spriggs. So, he did have a little spin earlier on. Oh, and Coys is in. Coys is in. He must be out doing another medium stint. It's too early for softs. Yeah, indeed he is. So, yeah, actually, we knew from a comment that he made in qualifying that he definitely had another set of softs, another set of mediums available. So, I think that probably makes sense. We've seen the softs are great, but they go off very quickly. So, just having a look here, Davis, to try a little switch back there. Coys is going to need about half a lap to get his tyres up to a workable temperature. Shrek is in finally off of the hard tyres, and Taz has followed in as well, presumably because of his spin. I don't think if Coys gets to the end of the back straight, still ahead of Davis, I don't think. Well, even if Davis gets past him, quite frankly, he's not going to be able to hold Coy's off on fresh mediums because Coy's is going to be quick to the end of this race now. How far back Davis came from and got so close. I do wonder if Coy's is running a bit of a high downforce, because I did think we switched to when Cammy got ahead of him, I wasn't really expecting to see an overtake, because it was over half a second the gap going onto the straight. But he absolutely flew past him, so in a way I think that there shows us that the mediums have reached a workable temperature. And 7.5 seconds to White Lion. I think he'll be on him in about 3 laps roughly. He's going to fly, absolutely fly from here. 3 or 4 laps he should be on the back of White Lion. But, of course, don't forget the mediums, they'll still deteriorate quick, so get to the end easy, but they'll gradually get slower as compared to the hards every lap, so well, fair play to Awesome Ranger, currently running in P9, does have penalties, so it's a bit early to be looking at penalties. I don't particularly want to spoil battles because people have got a 6-second penalty or something. So fair play to Awesome Ranger on his debut so far. Had a little spin earlier on, if you remember, right early in the race, but he's clearly recovered from that and is running nicely in the top 10 now. Reza doing his best to recover what became a really difficult situation for any of the guys who started on hards. Coy's taking another second out White Lion. This corner is like this corner coming up, the right hand, well, it's just said in qualifying it's 3 right-handers really, but it's taken like 1 corner. It might even be 4 right-handers actually, but so you take it as 1 corner, and but it's that sort of corner is the one where the fresh mediums are going to be so much quicker than everybody else. As Taz gets past strike, further down, P15. This battle seems to have just died slightly. Dre has just gotten ahead of Awesome Ranger, just missed it, but there seems to be a bit of a pattern in this race so far. But Dre up into P9. Awesome Ranger still doing well on his debut in P10. That is Dark Mark behind, who's another fresh medium driver. So, not a lot Awesome Ranger can really do about it. The situation just is what it is, and people are going to be quicker. He has a go at defending there. It does actually run a bit late, bit late on the brakes, and runs a bit deep into the corner and runs off, but in the end Dark Mark makes the overtake and up into P10. Nicely done. I think Awesome Ranger wanted to try and defend it, but as I say, there's just very little he can do. So Awesome. Oh, he's into the pits. Where's he pitted? What's going on to mediums? Well, I would said this was probably in soft range now to the end. Could have nicked the fastest lap maybe, but that's dropped in all the way down to 17th. That's a lot to try and make up from where he was. May not know the scoring system in PRF1 he might not have really. Once he drops out the top 10, being a debutant driver, I wonder if he realised, or I wonder if he thought that he dropped out of the points by dropping out the top 10, but of course he didn't because of the way we score in PRF1. So either that, or he was just fed up of being caught by fresher tyre guys and decided to pit. Sorry, let's go to... I thought Robber was just making a move. Okay, let's go back to Shrek. As... Right away on the right. I think that was a bit of contact. And I think Tad slowed down there and let Shrek past. So I think he realised that he made a bit of contact, made a mistake, and allowed Shrek past. It's good sportsmanship. And just to update you, because I've not really been up there for a long time, just to update you, Cammy has pulled out a 4-second gap now to Spreader. Big D having a strong race, but is still under pressure at the moment from White Lion, who's having a superb race. If you actually remember, White Lion was the driver that as he gets down, moves to the inside, goes up the inside of the Ferrari, and is into the top 3 on track. So a superb race, and well, if he keeps it penalty free, he's going to take my driver of the day this week, because he's yeah, what I was going to say, if you remember, he was the driver that disconnected at the start of the race before Greza did, White Lion did, and lost a substantial amount of time and places. So to have recovered from that and now be on the podium, barring any mistakes, you've got to think he's going to be a dead cert podium, really. That's very, very nice from Greza and Atkins, as Greza takes P7 off of the Alfa Romeo. Just looking back now, Atkins nowhere near coming back on the pit straight, and we wouldn't expect him to come back anyway. Greza's obviously driving on the fresh, well, they're not that fresh mediums anymore, but still a lot fresher than the hard tyres on the drivers, both ahead and behind him. So, gotta think Greza is going to be looking here at Davis ahead. I think P6, the car ahead of him, Davis, P6, and you've got to think that's got to be Greza's sort of target now, because obviously there's a 12-second gap then to Coy's in P5. Now, a couple more laps. Lap 26, I'll bring the penalties up as we see Greza. Davis defends to the inside, Greza goes down the outside, and the move is completed way before they reach the braking zone for the left-hander. So there we have it. Greza then into P6. As I say, that's likely to be the best he can do. It does depend on what penalties he's sort of got, but I don't think they've picked up that much that Greza's likely to come into play at all. And well, here we go. So Coy's is getting DRS, but Big D is still getting DRS off of White Lion. But Coy's goes to the inside for turn 1, and he's up the inside of Big D. They have a little bit of contact. Big D, I don't think it was the contact that oh, has he actually spun? No, he's recovered it. It's fine. I don't think that was the contact that caused that. I think he touched the curb on the outside, and the actual exit of turn 1 is slippery in a way. So I think it was more that. I don't think the contact was at fault there. But, there we have it. Coy's into P4. It's a really good recovery drive from Coy's. He's doing what he can. Obviously, he won't be on the list of drivers for my driver of the day because he's got a penalty. And looking down the feel... Ooh, hello. I was just looking down the field and I was just about to say that I think we're out of battles, but and then Coy's went past White Line. The way that White Line came back, I wonder if Coy's maybe was a bit adventurous on the brakes. I don't know. We didn't see it, so just playing devil's advocate. But regardless of how, White Line is back ahead, and when these guys cross the line, I'll bring the penalties up. I guess what penalties Coy's has depends on how big a battle this is. So it's just 3 seconds. So clean air, I don't think Coy's would be completely out there running and picking up a second a lap, to be honest with you. But yeah, he's got to get it. Well, I think he is going to. So I think he is going to make the move on the back straight this time successfully. But will basically 2 1/3 laps be enough for him to pull out 3 seconds? I think it's a big ask. It's a big ask because obviously his medium tyres aren't too bad. It's so there's nothing White Line can actually do about the overtake, but what would you prefer to be in this situation? Would you prefer to be Coy's trying to get away and like really attacking the track, trying to get away and create the gap, or would you prefer to be White Lion with the 3 second advantage because of the penalty? Not far off picking up a second already. It's going to be interesting, that one, towards the end of the race, but we do have other battles going on. Atkins is still within the 1 second of Davis. And Dark Mark as well is very close to the back. Oh, he's ranged. I was just about to say he's very close to the back of Dre, and it looks like he spun it on the long right-hander. Just keep going. He's fallen a good 9.5 seconds behind Dre because of that. And I assume that was an individual mistake. I think. I obviously, again, didn't see it, so I can't be sure, but I think that was probably just what we said about that corner and the way it can pull you into the inside wall. It'd be a bit frustrating when the car that you're actually battling was on a 3 second penalty in a way. Boys and White Lion are heading down the back straight. The gap is about a second as they reach the corner at the end of the straight. We'll stick with this though. Just looking as we see another overtake. To say, Circuit of the Americas is right up there as one of the top overtaking tracks, but it's unfortunately, I'd say about 90% of them is people just driving past another car down that back straight, so it's very samey, really. Yeah, I think I'd agree, Shaz. I think I'd rather be White Lion in this scenario, as they are now going through sector 1 on the final lap, of course, the leaders. And he needs to pull out just over a second. Oh, and I think that's Goomba. Oh, right at the end, Goomba has had a little spin in that right-hander. I have to say, actually, we haven't seen many through there. We haven't seen many spins in that right-hander. What's it been, 3 or 4? I know that probably doesn't sound like not many, but I'm just going by previous commentaries that I've done around there, and it felt like every other lap I was seeing somebody spun around there, so it's not been that bad, really. Sorry, I didn't really go through the penalties, but it's 3 seconds for Coys, 3 seconds for Big D, 3 for Dre, 3 for Robbo, then 6 for Dark Lord, 6 for Taz, 12 for Awesome Ranger. So I don't think he's had a bad debut, really, Awesome Ranger. I don't think he should have picked off the hards, but obviously, moving forward, he'll need to keep the penalties down a bit, but ultimately, it is an easy track to pick penalties up on, to be fair. In a way, Sergeant Kamarov wins in the USA, Spreader in P2. White Lion does stick within the 3 seconds to Coys and takes the final podium spot. Coys, brilliant P4 drive from him. Big D superb as well in P5. Greza recovered well to P6. Davis P7. 3 second penalty for Dre will drop him back behind his teammate, but the 2 Alfa Romeos coming home 8th and 9th. Dartmark will come home in 10th. Robbo's going to drop due to a penalty, so Shrek up to 11th. Robbo 12th. Dark Lord had his own penalty, so he's 13th. Taz crashes it over the line, but takes 14th. Awesome Ranger. Big penalties for him. He may lose one to Operator here, I think. Yep, he does. So Operator 15th. Awesome Ranger 16th on debut. Goomba cross the line 17th. Of course, he just had that spin on a penultimate lap. The game's awarded driver of the day to White Lion, and I do not disagree with that at all. I think he's had an absolutely superb. First of all, Big D, you need to make sure you get the race director. You need to clip yourself scrolling through the race director. So make sure you've got that, and then just submit to show the clip of the what you think was unfair. So basically, you'd need a clip to show why you think it's unfair. So what happened, and a clip of the race director to prove that you never picked up any further warnings. But even then, from what the one in Austria, I think it was declined. I think they said they're not going to remove any. But I don't know. You're probably better off speaking to Grezza or someone about that, mate. In a way, we've already done the run-in. The only one I didn't say was Scott came in P18. 2 drivers out, Roboshan and Frozen. Unfortunately for those guys, we'll see again next week. Coys took fastest lap, 1:36.6. Obviously, he did the 2 medium stints, so he's best placed to take that. So it makes complete sense. Let me quickly invite these boys in to the party. So we'll do our podium interviews. It feels like an absolute age since I spoke to Spreader. So we'll get those 3 boys in. Oh, god damn it. Race director. And that is exactly why you need to do it, in case I forget to do it. Sorry, Grezza. Hello. Yes. Please do include your audio.
I've done it.
Good man, good man. And I think that's all 3 of you now. Right, so yeah, so for the other 2, include your audio, boys. And we'll get going. In a way, White Lion, you're in first, and I'll speak to you first. So, hello. Congratulations on P3 and my driver today as well. Absolutely superb drive.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, I mean, pretty shocking start overall. Died in Q2. Disconnected. Well, my electricity cut off lap 2. So that wasn't a great start overall. But going from P14, I gained pretty much every single spot on track. So yeah, I went from P11 to P3, or P4, I guess. So I don't know why I had such good pace. Kota's always been one of my strongest tracks, but didn't think it'd be that good. So very happy.
Good, yeah. You did show some great pace. You had to fight back a little bit. Do you think you maybe owed a podium a bit to the safety car?
No, no, definitely. But I mean, it came early enough that it wasn't. Like, it didn't affect my race that much. It just closed the gap a bit to the leaders,
Right.
or at least like the midfield, which helped me out a lot. So I was able to kind of string along DRS after DRS move, um, which definitely helped me get through the early part, and then still had to do quite a few time trial laps towards the end. I thought I was fighting what's his name? I forgot now.
Coys.
Or for the podium spot. Yeah, Coy's for the podium spot, but turns out he's got 10 seconds anyways, added to his final time. So it was all for nothing, but I was still very happy, beat him by 1/10 in the end.
Yeah, I'm glad for commentary. I completely forgot about that actually. So yeah, he's I thought it was just a 3 second
It
penalty.
makes the end of the race more dramatic.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, well, congratulations, mate. It's the same at driver of the day as well. I thought you did absolutely superb. One of the drivers stayed penalty free as well. So nice, really nice drive. And
Thanks.
so you take that into future weeks. So spreader, I come to spreader. I feel like I haven't spoken to you in years. Um, Goodness me, when's the last time you were on the podium?
I don't know actually. I was only last week when I was out. No, no, I
No,
weren't France. I was miles back. Probably
yeah,
Austria.
it feels like ages, man. It feels like ages. I need my weekly dose of spreader. So you got to stay. You got to stay on the podium all the time. So, in a way, mate, congratulations. Really good P2 tonight. You looked for qualifying for parts of the race like you had absolutely brilliant pace tonight. Um, even got a few comments in the chat on the stream, so saying that you looked like you had really good race pace. So, um, not to be for the win tonight, but I think you're back on the podium. Good, strong result. Is that good for you?
Yeah, it was a good race overall. When we was on the mediums and we managed to go, I sort of was holding Jack about 8/10, but even when he closed up on the ice, I'd kind of pull that a bit out through set to three again. But when we swapped to the hards, he managed to get through before I was being careful with the traffic. I didn't want to get involved really with Shrek and Grezza. I really just wanted to sit in the train, but Jack had other ideas, so yeah, he managed to get through, and I just couldn't match his pace on the hards. He had a bit more pace than me. Again, it's a couple of tenths a lap that I'm just lacking a bit, and he manages to build that 4 second gap up. You
Yeah.
know, and then, but unfortunately, like it's a good and bad result because obviously the person who I want to be ahead of is one person ahead of me. So but
Yeah.
it's still a long way to go yet. We got time. It's only
Yeah, it's only
60
round
something
seven.
points, I think, by the
So,
end of tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah.
okay, Matt. Yeah. What about the safety car for you? I mean, obviously you started on the mediums. Um, there's no doubt it came at the
It,
absolutely worst time for the people that started on the hards. It's terrible timing for them.
it's
So,
never a bad time for you to have a safety car. I mean, I'd prefer not to have had one in that race. I think that would have been a difference. I might have been able to keep the position there, depending on how it happened. But no, as soon as, like I said, Jack were given that chance and that door were open, he took it and took it quick, and off he went. So it's what it is, but it's a good race. Good race.
yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations, mate. And as I say, nice to speak to you again. And Cammy, comes to you. Seems to be becoming a regular thing. Um, to say congratulations on the win, buddy. But it's not all as easy as that, is it? There's clearly, I think Coy's has definitely shown that he's clearly got pace, and so he's, when he hasn't got the penalties and that, he's clearly going to be battling for wins. But you know, other than that, obviously there was the battle with Spreader, but once you got the gap, it looked plain sailing. Is that the case?
Yeah, I was really struggling to keep with him in the first stint on the mediums. So
I remember Jack
when
saying, "Oh, he's faster than me."
yeah, when I had the chance at the start on the hards, I wanted to fucking take it as soon as I could to get ahead of him. And then I think Coy's being on the mediums and staying out, giving me DRS really helped. I don't think I would have got out of spreads DRS other than that. And then yeah, as you said, just a tenth every lap, maybe even less, and just slightly got away. But
Yeah.
the tyres were fucking dead by the end as well. It was 70% or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's unlucky for Coys for the safety car. I mean, it was right at the perfect time pretty much for us, maybe a little bit early, but I mean, who knows what could have happened. without
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, I mean, technically it was a little bit early for the mediums for going to hards. It was always going to be a long stint on the hards, but it's for the guys who started on hards, it was just an absolute nightmare because there's no way you're going to get sets of mediums to the end, and so they had
Yeah.
to do two starts, you know. So it's just a bit of a nightmare, really. But but those things happen. It's a risk you take by starting on hards, you know. So
exactly.
Other than that, mate, I think there's going to be some close races, but you're clearly in really good form at the moment. You're leading the championship. Your team's leading the constructors. So it's looking good for the title. Maybe a bit early to say
Yeah, it's
that,
looking
but
very good at the minute.
you know, yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's 5 in a row, so I'm gonna fucking take that. You know, it's
is it 5 in a row?
a good couple of tracks next as well.
One way or
Yeah, it's
another,
5
I
in a row.
will
Yeah.
stop this winning streak of yours.
Oh dear.
One way or
It's not
another.
gonna fucking happen. It's
Spread, are
Imola,
you gonna
Saudi
disrespect your
Arabia.
way into Jack's rear wing?
No, I'm
Sorry,
just
what?
gonna
Stick his
yeet
what
him
into his
into
rear
one
wing?
Imola.
Disrespect his
Disrespect
way
his
into.
way.
Oh, okay. It's right. I thought you said stick his wang into this. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa,
That's might hurt.
Sure.
I don't. Yeah, don't fancy that. That's eye
Yeah,
watering.
Imola is our
Um,
next track.
Imola's up next. Okay, so it's one of the Italian tracks.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the
yes.
it's the
I haven't raced there in ages.
I haven't raced
It's
at this
not an
game.
Italian track.
Of course, it's an
It's
Italian
fucking
track.
San Marino.
Yeah,
I
which
like
is
it.
part of Italy.
I really like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
why
is.
it's not a country.
It's not a country, and
Shut
it's not even in San Marino, but they used to call it the San Marino Grand Prix, so it's fucking San Marino.
I don't know.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks,
You're
Jack.
nice.
Yeah,
worries.
thanks.
Right.
I'll put it as San Marino on the calendar, so you're gonna fucking call it San Marino, okay?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I thought you're supposed to be a good commentator, Hilly, and you're calling
Yeah.
the Grand Prix
Yeah.
the wrong
Wait,
name.
he's
What's
gonna be
happened here?
fuming with me next week. God, I hope he's not on the podium next week. He'd be shouting at me. He'd be calling it fucking Italy all through the race. Yeah. Well, Imola then. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I spin so
I
much
like
there. I just hate it. So yeah.
I haven't
Go on
driven
then,
it
guys.
with F122 cars, so I can't tell you.
How have you gotten? It was when was it released?
No
July
one league
last year.
races there. It's not a very popular league racing track, so.
Really?
Yeah, and also I just don't race a lot. Full stop.
Well, yeah,
The only,
and you also don't do
the
many
only
league
league
races,
racing I
so
know
yeah.
is Downforce and then this, and that's it.
Yeah, you do one a week.
And I barely do. Yeah, I've been doing one a week, and I didn't do any for like 2 months.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, you're. I'll
And
let
somehow
you
I got
off.
faster, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow.
Somehow.
That's what I might take a two
Shut up.
break.
It
It was using my setup, that's what it was. You came over here, you were like, oh, look at this fucking shit, it just suddenly got quicker.
I touched your wheel and then bam.
Yeah.
There's other things I touched while I was there, but anyways, cheers everyone.
You know I haven't turned the stream off yet, right? Yeah.
I'll see you
right.
next week.
Hang on. Don't go anywhere. We haven't even said goodbye to the viewers yet, let alone you. Oh.
Oh, so
Right.
goodbye viewers.
Hang on. Right. Right, guys. Thank you ever so much to everyone that's watched live with me and kept me entertained. Shaz, you're awesome as always. But
When's Shaz going to be
Straight
back?
as
That's what I
well.
want.
I think Shags is Shags. I knew I was going to do that. I just said Spriggs, and then I went to say Shaz, and it came out Shags. It's accident. Sorry.
Mine in the
as far as
gutter.
I know, she is back. Oh, he is back. I don't know whether Shaz.
I want him racing, and it was fun racing against him.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully Spriggs might be back next week as well. We'll see. There we go. What did Greza say? Hang on. I hope that was fun to watch, mate. And Red Mist in the last. Did you? I didn't see that.
Yeah, because his fucking game crashed. He lost
Oh yeah.
2 seconds and then got pissed about it.
Yeah. So that was the other reason you got driver of the day, White Lion, because you disconnected as well early on in the race, didn't you?
I know, my electricity cut out.
Yeah.
Third world country and that.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you? You're in France, aren't you?
I'm French, but have you seen my flag?
No. Where is it?
South Africa.
Oh right. Okay.
I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, Hilly.
Did you? Mate,
Yeah,
I've done.
we-
No,
Like,
Hilly only remembers the clubbing seals.
Yeah, and- yeah, I
yeah. I
guess.
remember that bit. But to be fair, like I've probably done about 9 streams since then, or something, or 10 streams or something.
Fair
So
enough, fair enough,
you
fair
know,
enough.
I only
But are you
Yeah,
still
remember
he's
streaming,
fucking
or-
ridiculous with it. He does. How many do you do? Like 3 on Saturday or something like that, don't you?
3 on Sundays. I do.
Jesus
Um,
fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
fucking
God.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you get paid by anyone, or?
No, nobody pays me. Only in
People
kind.
who you do it last for on a Sunday should fucking pay you. Jesus Christ, you must be shattered by then.
I do. Yeah, yeah, I am. Usually, but yeah. Anyway, there we go. Yeah. Anyway, I was just gonna say, yeah, I tend to, because I do so many, I only ever remember the memorable conversations.
Oh, damn. Okay. I
Like
think
clubbing-
clubbing seals.
like clubbing
clubbing pretty
seals, yeah.
memorable.
Right. Okay, we're boring everybody out there now. So, right, guys, thank you. Oh, Coys doesn't like Imola, by the way. So that's good news for you guys.
Doesn't like what?
He doesn't like Imola, Coys. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
He'll still sandbag and then get poles, so it's fine.
yeah, probably. Right. Okay, to everybody out there in Twitchland, thank you very much. Thanks to all of you that watch with me, and thanks to everybody that watches back. I really appreciate it. Good night, God bless, enjoy your weekends, and I will be back on Sunday at 6 p.m. Just 2 streams this Sunday because the Under 25s League is stopped for the end of the season.
Under
So,
25.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's what I said.
yeah, we'll be back for Sunday 6. What's that? WR. That's Wheel Spin Racing League. So I'll see you for that one. Yeah. Good night. God bless.
Longest
Have a
outro
nice
in
weekend.
Twitch history.
Oh,